Okay, everyone, so we're going to create a runner. There is a few people that have created this runner in different stitches. So I'm going to create also similar to what people have created, but create my own stitch also. So everybody is basically making it their own. I'm going to use this bling bling gray blue and gold and white with silver and normal white, and I might change my mind here and there in certain colors. I'm not sure yet at this point. Usually I start with a color. Sometimes I'm decided on that color, and sometimes I just change ideas as I'm going, whatever comes to mind. 2.8 hook would be similar to yours 2.5. Depending upon the thread you're using. These are 4-ply Portugal brands. They're similar to Aunt Lydia number 3. Mine's a little bit thinner, so if you're using Aunt Lydia number 3, your pieces will be bigger than mine a bit. Okay, so let's get started. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you so much for your uplifting words on the passing of my brother. I'm still having a very hard time to accept his death. Obviously, it was so rapidly to our liking, obviously. And sometimes life just doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. We must accept for what it is. But just to let you know, sometimes my mind is not always all there, and I might, make a mistake on calling on stitching or something like that. But bear with me, please. Thank you so much for your love and support. Okay, everyone. So I'm going to start off with 135 chain stitch. I don't count the slip stitch. Okay, so 135 chain stitch. I've done my 135 chain stitch. Now, it's always good to do an extra one, especially when you're doing chain stitch, because sometimes you'll get to the end and you could have miscounted. It's easier to take one stitch down than to be short. Also, when you're doing the chain stitch, go a size hook bigger unless you have a loose tension to begin with. We don't want the pattern to curve. I've loosened up my chain stitch. Okay, so now I have 136 chain stitch. I'm sure that if my count is properly, then at the end I'll be taking down one stitch. I'm going to go into my fifth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going right in the center, grabbing those 2 loops up top, just so it won't curve in. So we're going to be doing double crochet 1 per stitch all the way to the end. And I'll meet you at the end of my row. Okay, everyone, so I've done 131 double crochets, 131. So we did that extra chain, and obviously I had an extra one there. So very simple. Better to have extra than to be short. Sometimes we're unsure if we did the right count. Just make sure that you count your double crochets and basically just take out the 2 extra chains, which is more simple to do than to be short. Okay, and then just close it up over here. Then we can tuck in the rest of the stitch or the thread. So 131 double crochets. On this same stitch, 131 double crochets, we're going to add 6 more double crochets on the same stitch. This is the oval part. Of course, whatever we do on this side, we must also do on the other side. Now, sometimes because I've just pulled that thread, it makes it a little bit hard to get into that stitch, so you can use a smaller hook just to get those other 6 double crochets. But loosening it up, of course, we don't want it to be smaller. So so far 3. That's including with the very last one, the 131st. Okay, so that's the first of the 7. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. If we count well, we had done the last one, the 131st. Now we're going to count that same one as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 double crochets for the oval, and then 1 per stitch. So we can continue to have, so basically it stays 130 because that 1 goes into the oval. So we should have 130 double crochets on this side also. Okay, so 1 per stitch, just grabbing that loop that I left behind and hiding my thread from where we started and pulled onto that extra chain stitch we did. Okay, so coming into this side will be exactly the same thing we will have to do on the corner, but I'll meet you there, the 7 double crochets. Now, if your tension is very tight, you could always grab a hook size smaller to go into those loops on that chain stitch, because they seem to be tight if you had tightened your chain stitch, okay? Okay, everyone, so I've completed my double crochets here. I've left 2 behind, okay? We're going to add these 2 as part of the oval of the 7 double crochets, okay? So I'm going to come in, the first one here, and I'm going to do 5 double crochets in the same stitch, okay? So we leave 2 behind, so I have 2 already, 3, 4, and 5. With these 2 makes the 7, which I'm going to come and close on that last chain of that double crochet. So now we have the 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to go over with slip stitch because this is part of the oval, and over to the next one. And I'm going to do a single and 2 chain. So this is part of the side already. And then 1 double crochet per stitch until we get to the other oval part. And then where we have the 7 double crochets, we'll be doing an increase of 2 double crochet per stitch on the oval. So instead of having 7, we'll be having on this row 14 double crochets on the oval. So I'll meet you here at the very last one before the 7. If you want to put a marker, go ahead. Okay? Okay, everyone. So I've done until my very last one before the 7 of the oval. Now I'm going to come on that very first one of the 7, and I'm going to do the increase 2 per stitch. So we should have a total now of 14 at the oval. Just going to put a little marker on here, just so you guys don't get confused. This is part of the side, so this is the very last one. You can do the same thing to the other side in all 4 corners. So far I have 2, 3, 4, 2 per stitch, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. See if I have another marker around. Then we come into the normal side ones. Double crochet, 1 per stitch, and you will repeat the same thing on the other side of the oval where we have the 7 double crochets. You'll also do 2 per stitch, so you'll have a total of 14. Okay, so I'm going to continue my row and then come to you at the end once I am ready to close this row out. Now I'm going to name this so 1, 2, row 2, okay, because we started with the 7 double crochets. That's the first row, and then 2. So I'll meet you at the end of my row. Okay, everyone, so I've closed in row 2. Trying to get some thread here. Now again, we're going to be doing row 3, just double crochets over double crochet until we get to the marker, the oval. So, closed in on that third chain, we did a single 2 chain. For some of you that have been doing it like me, I'm going to come back into the same one and I'm going to do single and 2 chain into the next one, double crochet into the next one, double crochet. So this row 3 again, it will be all about double crochets all the way to the marker till the oval. Then it will change a bit. Now, a lot of you have seen me create this space for many different runners or doilies, okay? I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I've reached my marker. We have the groups of 2. On my first double crochet, I'm doing 1 double crochet, so we're going to have 7 increases. On the second, I'm doing 2 together on the same stitch. Into that first of the 2, 1 double crochet. On my second, doing my second increase, 2 in the same stitch. Again, the first of the 2, 1 double crochet. On the second, I'm doing my increase, so this is going to be my third increase. On the first double crochet, 1. On the second, 2. This is my fourth increase. On the first double crochet, 1. On my second, 2. My fifth increase. On my first double crochet, 1. On my second, 2. This is my sixth increase. On the first double crochet, 1. And on the second, 2. My seventh increase. And also on the other side of the oval, we'll be doing the same thing. And then back to the normal double crochet for the sides of this centerpiece. If you use macrame, the thick thread, you can use this as a rug, okay, which is absolutely stunning as a rug also. So this is row 3. So remembering the oval 7 increase, 2 on that second double crochet. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 7 times, 7 increases. Okay, meet you at the end. Okay, everyone. So I've started row 4 because it's just, closing in and doing double crochet over double crochet. That stays the same on both sides. I've reached my marker. Now we have 1 double crochet part of the oval. I'm going to leave it at 1 double crochet. On the first group, I'm doing 2 double crochets on that first double crochet of the group of 2. Into that second one, I'm doing 1, into the next one, 2, into that first double crochet, 2 double crochets on the same stitch, into that second of the increase, 1 double crochet, into the next one, 1 double crochet, into the next one where we have the group, 2 double crochets, into the second double crochet, 1 double crochet, into the next one, 1 double crochet, into that first one of the group, 2, into the next one, 1, into the next one, 1, the first of the group, 2, into the same stitch, into the next one, 1, and into the next one, 1, into that first of the group, 2, into the next one, 1, and 1, into that first of the last group, 2, and 1 double crochet, and we're right at the marker. So I'm just going to recap that with you. I'm going to move this marker up. So we have the marker. We did 1 double crochet, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. So you are to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 increases again, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. This is row 4. I'll meet you at row 5, but once I've completed my double crochets exactly how I did on this row 4. Okay, just before the oval, before the marker on the next row, because now it's just, repeat the double crochets on both sides. So I'll meet you here on row 5 at the marker. Okay, everyone, so I've started row 5 after I've closed row 4 out. Okay, so I'm at the marker, just going in to the where we have the groups. So after the marker, 1 double crochet, and on top of that first double crochet of the group, 1 double crochet. On my second, I'm doing an increase. Okay, this time we're doing an increase on that second double crochet. 1, 2, and on that first of the group, 3. So now we're going to have 3 double crochets in between the increase. On that second increase, I'm doing my increase, 2 on the same stitch, into the next one. 1 into the next one, 2 into the next one, which is the first of the group, 3. On that second of the increase, increase. 1, 2, 3. On that second increase, increase. 2 on the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Increase on that increase. 1, 2, 3. On that second increase, increase. 1, 2, 3. My last increase, so we should have 7 increases again. And then 1 per stitch. And then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we have our marker, 1, 2, we're right on top of that increase. On that second increase, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase. 1, 2, 3, increase over on that second increase. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, and we're going to continue, and I'm going to come back to you once I've completed my row and did my double crochets. I'll come back to you again on the oval when I get here to the marker, which will be row 6. Okay, we're doing row 5 right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once I get to row 6, after doing my double crochets right at the marker, I'll come back to you on it again. Okay, everyone, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, started row 6. I'm at the marker, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, that's already part of the oval. And on my second increase, doing an increase. 2 on the same stitch, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, and on that second increase, increase. So we're doing 7 increases again. 1 per stitch 4 times. On that first of the group, 1 double crochet, and on the second, 2 double crochets. That's my second increase. 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the second increase, increase. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 increases so far. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Double crochets 1 per stitch, and then increase. This is my 5th increase. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 6th increase. 1, 2, 3, and 4, my 7th increase, and then 1 per stitch as we've been doing. You're going to repeat the same thing on the other oval, on the other side, exactly what we just done. Okay? So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I finished row 6 going into row 7. Now we're going to start changing a bit the pattern. So closed in row 6, I'm going to do 1 chain, and I'm going to come back into that same stitch and doing a single. So this whole row will be about singles. Where we have the increase on the second double crochet from the group, we're going to continue to do an increase of 2 singles. Okay, and I ran out of thread. I had to make a knot here to add more thread. So on the sides, 1 per stitch, trying to hide this knot and the extra thread that I've added on. Okay, so I'll meet you at the marker, single crochet. This is row 7. Okay, everyone, so I've reached a mark point, did singles. I'm on that second double crochet, my first increase. So we're still doing 7 increases with singles. 2, 3, 4, 5 singles, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 singles, increase on that second increase. Okay, so I'm going to cut my thread after this, and I'm going to come in with a different color. We have another row of singles to do, but I'm using a different color for it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't forget, you have 7 increases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 singles, increase on that second increase, double crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my last increase. So as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 per stitch, and do the same thing on the other oval. Okay, I'm going to move my markers up also. Okay, everyone, so finished row 7, going into row 8. I'm coming in with that gray blue bling bling gold, and I'm going to start where I've been starting my rows. So I'm going to come in with singles. So this row will be all about singles. There is no increase. 1 per stitch. Just single crochet. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of this row 7, or row 8, I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Row 8. 1 per stitch, no increase. So you continue to do singles all the way around, including 1 per stitch on the increases here. We're not doing increase on this row 8. Okay, everyone, so I finished row 8, going into row 9. I'm going to come back in that same stitch that I've closed in with a single 2 chain. I'm coming back in again and doing a double crochet. So now I have 2. 1, 2, 3 chain, closing in with single. So I'm doing a shell here with picot of 2 double crochet, picot, and 2 more double crochet, like that. Chain 2. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, and come on my 5th and create that shell of 2 double crochet, chain 3, closing in with single, coming back in, creating 2 more double crochet, chain 2, skip 1, 2, 3, 4 into the 5th, create your shell again, chain 3, picot, closing in with single, coming back in that same stitch and creating 2 more double crochet. I'm going to do this until the marker, and then I'll come back to you again. Okay, everyone, so right from the very first one here that we did, where we usually start the row, and I have one over the marker. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. We're going to continue to skip the 1, 2, 3, 4, come into the 5th. We might have to make a little adjustment at the end in order to have 71 shells. Okay? So at the end, I believe I will have to skip only a 3 and go into the 4th 2 times, but we'll meet there. 1, 2, 3, 4 into the 5th. So I'm still skipping the 4 going into the 5th. And then I'll meet you right back here before we close, so we can close together. Okay, everyone, so my count ended up perfect. I didn't have to make any adjustments. If we look well, 1, 2, 3, basically on the 4th. That's the only thing that came out. Everything else is skip 4 going to the 5th. I have 71 shells. I thought I needed to make another adjustment, but I don't. So I guess I didn't make any mistake on the stitching. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a marker. I'm not going to cut the thread. Just going to grab it from, let's see, I should have one here. I'm just going to put a marker on this loop so we don't lose the loop. If you want to cut, by all means, go ahead. I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to leave it like that, so it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, now I want my pattern to pop out, so I believe I'm going to use the black. I could have used a white. You can if you're using similar colors, but I want the design to pop out. In order for it to pop out, the black is perfect for this. Okay, so we have our marker on our loop. I'm just going to come on that 2 chain, and I'm going to do a single and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to come from behind. You can always fix it after, into the next 2 chain loop and create a single. And then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into the next one. So we're going to create these 6 chain loops all the way around. You should have 70 at the end. 70 loops. This is including the oval also. And I'll meet you at the end of my loops. Okay? Okay, everyone. So I pretty much closed my last 6. What I'm going to do is remove this marker. Like I said, if you want to cut and keep tucking in, go ahead, or you can do it this way. I'm going to block the black one here, and I'm going to come in. I'm going to pull the blue one into this single that I have here. And we're going to create those shells again into this single. So I'm going to do my 3 chain, another double crochet, 1, 2, 3 for picot, and into the same one. Create those 2 double crochets. Okay. Chain 2, coming into the next single. Like that. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Back in. Chain 2, and again coming in to that single. So we're going to repeat this all the way around the same way. All the way around. Okay, so it's just a repeat now. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished. I'm going to pull that. I'm going to take my marker out and put it on that blue gray one so it does not come apart. I'm going to grab the black one. Now, with this black one, I'm going to come underneath. I'm going to pull it in between the black and the blue gray. Oops, not with this one, with the black. And go through it and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come in and again go in between, grab both loops there and do a single. So basically we're doing those loops again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grab the black and the gray blue like that. Okay, and that's all we're going to do all the way around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain, and grab both chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's going to be like that. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I've done my last 6. I'm going to come into that very first one we did, and I'm going to close it here. I'm just going to do another single here just to make sure that it's properly in. No, it's not. I grabbed only one loop. Okay. I'm just going to go over both of them just to make sure that I have that single in. So I'm going to stretch that. I'm going to take my marker, and we're going to repeat again the same thing. Okay. Now I'm going to take just going to pull this over here. Take the blue gray. Got to make sure that we're not over these ones. I'm just going to fix it. Okay, everyone, so I've grabbed the blue, and I'm going to go into that single that we have. Just want to make sure I'm not grabbing other things here. Going to do a single 2 chain and back in and create those shells exactly as we've been doing. Now there's going to be a little difference on the chain on the oval. We need to do an extra chain, so instead of doing 6, because it will start pulling, as we can see it's already curving a bit. This is okay to curve a bit. So from where we start the groups here, so I'll be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll be doing 9 of these loops. I'm going to put my chain on it, or my marker on it, so we can have it properly. So right from where we start the oval, so the first group, I'm going to do the marker here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you might want to put markers on there. So basically 2 chain the same. Got to make sure that this black thread stays behind, or we'll have issues. Let's just stay behind there. Two chains, so coming in that single and doing the shell again. When I get to the marker at the other oval, you're supposed to have your markers on, then I'll show you the 9 loops, okay? Chain 2, so we're pretty much just repeating what we've done. Now this would have looked pretty too with the white instead of the black, but I really wanted it to pop out. I'm going to fix that a little bit better, but you get the idea. Okay, everyone, if we count from the very start, the very first one we did, that's usually where we started all our rows, 26 shells, okay? 26. On your 27th shell, which I'm going to put my marker already after my 26th shell, like this, it gives you an idea so you don't get lost. So after your 26th shell, we're going to start doing chains of 3 this time because we don't want it to pull on the oval, okay? So I'm doing my 27th shell, okay? And then 1, 2, 3 chain instead of 2, okay? We're going to do that 9 times. Just to make sure that nothing is going to pull on this oval. And when we're going to do the next row, the chains, we're going to do 7 chain 9 times also instead of 6. So 3 chain and do your shell. Okay, so 3 chain and then your shell right after the 27th. Okay, so we have 26 with 2 chain, and then 27 we're going to count 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We're going to do the 3 chains. Okay, I'll meet you once I've done my 9. Okay, everyone, so basically we have the marker after the 26th shell with the 2 chain, and then your 27th shell becomes 3 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 just before the marker. And then we start with the 2 chain again, which I'll be putting a marker on there to make sure that we are on the same track. So 2 chain, and we go back to the normal. So I'm taking my marker from here and I'm putting it where the 2 chain is. Okay. Again, 1 right after the marker, the 26th shell, we have shell 27 from where we started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we start with the 2 chain again. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I've also put a marker after my 26th on this side. And now we continue with the 3 chains for 9 times, which is going to end up on that first marker that we did. So 3 chain, So I have the marker where the beginning is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to complete the 9 over here. Okay, once we complete, we do the chain 3, and we'll have 9 on this side and 9 on the other oval. Okay, so I'm going to do my last 3 chain, and I'm going to come in that very first shell we did with slip stitch. I'm going to pull my string here because I don't want to lose that black. Take out my marker, put it on the gray blue, and then I'm going to grab the black and put it behind. So I'm going to stretch a bit. Okay, I got it on the wrong side. Then I'm going to pull both loops, okay, both chains here, and do a single. I'll grab this to this side. And do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take these 2, single, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grab both loops until my marker. Okay, so still grabbing both loops with 6. After my marker, we're doing 7 loops. Okay, after I do the single, I'm going to start doing 7 loops and single. And then 7 loops, single, 9 times. Okay, and the same thing will be done on this side. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much exchanged again, no different than what we've been doing. Put my marker to block that black so it doesn't get away. Doing my shells again. So we are 1, 2, 3 on the 4th rows of shell, doing the 2 chain. And when we get to the marker, then we're doing the 3 chain. 9 times, okay? And we will repeat the next row again with the loops, and we have 1 more of the shells to do. So we'll be a total of 5, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4 loops, and then 5. But I'll come back to you on my 5th shell because now it's just, changing back and forth. And I will, at the mark point on my 5th row of shells, at the mark point here, I'll come back to you because there's going to be a little change on the oval. We need to add some chain stitch on that shell so we don't get the pattern pulling. Okay, so this pretty much stays the same. And then the loops also will be 6 loops, and then at the oval we'll be doing 7 times 9 loops, okay? 7 chain stitch times the 9 loops on the oval as we've been doing, So I'm going to continue mine, then come back to you once I'm already on the 5th shell. This is the 4th row of shells, okay? Looking so pretty, isn't it? Okay, so I'll meet you on the 5th row of shells. Okay, everyone, so I started the 5th row of the shells. It's going to change a bit. So I've done my first shell. The difference is I'm coming inside of this 6th chain with single, and then going directly on that single on the black and doing my shell. Okay, so 3 chain, do your normal picot. When we get to the marker on the oval, I'll come back to you on it again because it's going to change a bit. So coming in the middle of that 6th chain with single, and then into the single on the black and doing the shell. That's what's different on this last row of the shells. Okay, so shell, single on that black, shell, single on the chain, of course, and then the shell on your singles. Okay, I'll meet you when I reach the oval. Okay, everyone, so I've reached my mark point. Okay, my marker is there. I've done the shell. Now I'm going to do 2 chain, and I'm going to come in the center of that black, 2 chain, and doing my shell. So we're going to do this 9 times also, just to make sure that nothing is curving on the oval, and do the same thing on the other side 9 times. Okay, 2 chain in the center of that 7 chain, 2 chain, and do your shell. So this is 2 times already. We have to do 9 times. Okay, then I'll come back to you once I've completed my row. 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 9 times. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished. I've put my markers on those 9 that we had to do the 2 chain and a single on that black 7 chain. And now I'm going to come in with this beautiful sparkling white and silver. I've tucked in my loose ends already. So we have the marker where we have, after we've done the 9, 2 chain and then a single on that black. Okay, I'm going to grab the 2 loops back here from the shell, pull right through it and do a single. Then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain. I'm coming between that first and that second loop on the shell again with a single. We're going to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain. Again, coming on that first 2 loops of the shell until the marker. Okay, and then at the marker we'll be doing 7 chain 9 times. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're creating these loops like this. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so right from the marker where we usually start, okay, the 5 chain, and then single in between that first loop and that second loop from the shell. Okay, single. So I have 26 loops. Okay, Now my 27th loop, I'm starting already those 7 chains from marker to marker. 26 loops done of 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then just repeat the same thing. So we're doing this 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, hitting my hook on the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 9 times, that will be marker to marker, and then on the other side of the oval the same thing, and you should have 26 loops of 5 chain. Okay, on the other side also. Okay everyone, so I finished my 9 loops of 7, and I arrived perfectly with my 5 chain loops. Okay, 26 on each side, and then 9 of 7 chain on each oval. I'm going to come inside and I'm going to do a single 2 chain, my first double crochet, my second, my third, my fourth, and my fifth. I'm going to come and do a double crochet on the single, but I want this to be stretched out, so I'm going to grab the little loop behind here of the picot and then into that single with double crochet, and then come into the next one again with the 5 double crochets, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, I'm going to go through the picot loop back here because I wanted to have it straight out. Oops, I keep knocking my camera. Sorry, people. I'm sure it gets you dizzy as much as it gets me when I look into it. Okay, let me just, I don't want to grab only one loop. I want to grab like 2 loops on this picot so it does not stretch the picot, and then go into that single and do the double crochet. Okay, so 5 inside and 1 on that single, grabbing the loops behind the picot. When we get to the marker, so I have my marker here with the 7 chain, we're going to do 8 double crochet and repeat the 9th with the picot inside of the single 9 times, marker to marker. That's all we're going to do. Okay, so 5 on the edges on both sides and 8 on the oval, and of course with the single, with 1 on top of the single, grabbing that picot. Okay, everyone, so I've done all my 5 double crochets and 1 in that single. I've reached my marker, so now I'm going to do 7 double crochets 9 times on each loop, obviously. 3, 4, 5, 6, not 7, 8, sorry. 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8. And then coming in that picot and going into that single and doing my 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Coming behind that picot and doing my 9th on that single, and then continuing again. Both sides will be the same way. So marker to marker will be the 9. I've done 2. We have 7 more. I'll meet you at the end of my row. The other side will stay the same with 5 and 1 on the single. Okay, everyone, so I finished my row, and as I finished, remember we started with that single when we first started the 5 double crochets. I've also added my 9th double crochet on top of that single, so we can have the 9 there. Okay, now I'm going to go up, chain 3. This row will be only of double crochets. There will be no increase, just double crochet 1 per stitch, including the oval. So just 1 double crochet on each stitch, including the oval. No increase. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of my row. Okay, everyone, so I finished on my double crochets. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 chain again, coming into the next one. I'm going to start building groups of 7 double crochets. So I have 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3 chain, skip 1, 2, 3 into the 4th. We're going to repeat this all the way around the same way, groups of 7 double crochet, including the oval. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip 1, 2, 3 into the 4th and create your 7 double crochets. I'm going to continue my row, come back to you at the end. One, 2, 3. Skip 1, 2, 3. Come on the 4th. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of my row. Okay, everyone, so I arrived perfectly on here. 1, 2, 3, and I started the first 7. So I'm going to cut my thread now and come in with a lighter blue-gray shade. Okay, everyone, so I'm going to start, you can start anywhere. I'm going to start right here where I have the marker, and I'm going to come in, do a single and 2 chain. I'm going to have a total of 9 double crochets. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm going to skip the first 2, go on the 3rd one, single, single, and single, 3 singles. Then again, 9 double crochet. We're going to repeat this all the way around the same way, and then I'm going to cut my thread again once I finish this row and come back in with the black. Eight and 9. Skip the first 2, come on the 3rd one, single, single, and single, and then continue directly your 9 double crochets. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished my row, coming in with the black. I pretty much went through the first, but using back loops. Instructions starting back on. Thank God I'm at the end of my video, or it'd be a problem. Let's try this again. So you can give it a knot or slip stitch knot as you wish. Okay, so I'm going to do one chain and slip stitch on each one, okay, of these 9. One chain, slip stitch. So I've done the slip stitch and one chain. I'm going to come on my 4th one down here, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3 on my 4th. Just going to come like that, and I'm going to pull my string up to have the same size, okay? I don't want something too thick, so I'm just going to close it with 2. And then go directly into the first of the 9 again with slip stitch, one chain, slip stitch, one chain, slip stitch, one chain. Okay, I'll show you again once I get to it. So I've done the slip stitch, one chain. Another way you can do is on your 4th one here, you can just grab it here if you don't want to go through the chain there. 1, 2, 3 on my 4th, but you got to stretch that thread, okay? So I'm doing this twice and then closing and then coming on that first. I think it looks prettier that way, so I think I'm going to do it that way. So I'm going to go back to this one here and redo it again. I think it looks prettier this way. Sometimes you just have to keep trying. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 below, stretch and stretch and close. Come on that first, slip stitch, one chain. That's all we're going to do all the way around. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Like I said, a few people have created with different stitching, and of course everybody's making their own, so I've made my own also. I'll leave the measurements below in the description box. Thank you so much for being here. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed, please do so. It helps us creators a lot. God bless you all, and thank you so much again. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So coming down here, stretch it well. 1 and 2, and then go directly into that first of the 9 double crochets. One chain, slip stitch, using back loops, one chain, slip stitch, and it looks like that. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Okay, God bless you, everybody. Thank you so much. Okay, you guys, I had to come back because I find it much better this way. So on your 4th, right below, make sure you stretch. Okay, close it and do one chain. Okay, it's much better this way. It doesn't pull so much on the pattern. Sometimes, you know, you just got to go with the pattern. So one chain, slip stitch, one chain, slip stitch. Thank God I'm just, done with the tutorial because construction is starting. It's pretty annoying. Okay, so one chain, slip stitch, and on the last one is just slip stitch. Okay. On your 4th one right below, stretch, 1 and 2, close it, and one chain. I think it lies straighter on the pattern. It's much better this way, like that. Okay, it's much better. Okay, you guys.